Achievement unlocked. 2 players and a podcast now loading.
Welcome back, Dreamers and Flam family. This is 2 Players and a Podcast, brought to you by GeneralAndrews and
Flibbityflam.
And we are sponsored by the 8-Bit Dojo and ESN, where we aim to be selfless, not selfish. This is episode 6 of season 2. Embraces oneself and loot boxes. Eh? All right.
Yes.
Flibbityflam.
General.
All right, D. Let's go ahead and let's get this other one off the charts here.
Yeah.
What about these loot boxes, eh?
Ah, the loot boxes.
Tell me what you know. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you freaking obviously dislike.
So, I didn't really have a topic. So, like, when I was streaming earlier today, I just asked my chat, and that came up. I was like, well, we should talk about loot boxes. And I'm like, oh, that'd be very interesting to have our perspective on that, since we're mostly retro streamers.
I was going to say, you're the only one between the two of us who consistently would run into that, because you do a little dabbling in
and the newer stuff, and like loot boxes compared to like battle passes and stuff like that.
Right.
And all that good stuff. Because it's like, not only do you pay, $60 for a game, and then they're like, oh, here's this battle pass here that get you other stuff. It's only $20 more, but it's only for a little bit of time that you have everything to do.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to actually use a video game reference here. I know a lot of you out there that are listening actually do enjoy Majora's Mask.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a goddamn time limit on it, and as a kid, that ruined the game for me.
Stressful.
I didn't want to play. I played it for a day, and I never wanted to touch the game ever again. So now with these loot box things that you just referenced, the fact that there are time limits on when you can get this stuff done with things like the battle passes, which is just another form of a loot box. Really. Yeah. What the hell is that all about?
Man, I don't know. And some of them, they're like, you basically have to play every day until it's done to get everything unlocked for it too. Otherwise, you wasted your $20, $30 or whatever.
Right. And for me, like, if I'm going to spend the money, like, obviously I don't own it in the sense that I own the rights to the game.
Yeah.
But I own the rights to my time to play the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Now if it's something like WoW, which is a monthly subscription service to be able to access the server to use your characters, I get that stance. Now, that's why I don't play those, because I just don't like that overall forced dedication. But again, same idea here, forced dedication to everyday play. Otherwise, you're not going to even get your money's worth.
That's exactly it.
Not even close. You have to really get to those last 2 to 3 tiers, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
No, you're right. Yeah, before you get like the quote unquote the good stuff.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Because I mean, they fluff you for a while, right?
They do. It's just a bunch of fluff. So it's annoying. As you can tell, like, we both don't like them.
Without me saying anything specific, you might be onto something.
Yeah. So it's weird. Like, and I know in the EU, loot boxes are banned from games that have like an E rating, because
that's a cool feature.
Yeah, because it's technically gambling.
That makes sense, because the loot boxes versus the battle pass.
Yeah,
a loot box is going to have more of a gambling. Gambling
aspect to it.
Got it.
So it's like, I'm down for games giving you a way to earn loot boxes by playing your game, which makes a lot more sense.
Yes,
but like, if I have to just pay stuff, especially like I think, what was it? Battlefront 2, the Star Wars one, was the one who really, really fucked that up by making you pay for loot boxes and stuff like that, because they had progression stuff locked behind loot boxes.
That's right. I was trying to remember which game it was in recent history that had done where they pretty much burned themselves out and their fans out because you couldn't progress the game without paying for more of it, and not a DLC per se, but where you talked about these loot box type of things.
Yeah, you had to pay for a chance to progress, which was stupid.
And I've talked about this before with different things. Like even I've recently started picking up stuff like Stream Raiders, right?
Yeah,
it's a free-to-play game. Right, but if you want to customize it, now you can spend the money, right? So it's like, to me, that's fair.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's going to cost you a little bit of money, but that's because you went and got a customized specific skin for whatever unit it might be applying to. So like, let's say these different games and different characters that you might have, that you want to give them a look that makes you think of your old college colors, right? Because maybe you're a big fan of the college you went to. So like for me, I went to San Diego State, and so I might want to have the red, black, and a splash of gold on it, you know?
Yeah.
And I might be like, dude, yeah, my character looks so awesome. Plus it makes me think of this. That is worthy of, hey, I'll pay to access that.
Yeah, that makes sense, because you're paying for extra stuff that doesn't affect the gameplay overall.
Doesn't affect the gameplay, and they're still making money off it, because realistically they're obviously charging more than what it cost them to create it.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I'm okay with. I understand you charge more than what it costs you to make it. That's a business. Hello.
Yes.
But it's like, to me, that's a fair shake.
It is.
You know, and okay, so you want to up your price for your game, $60, $70, $80 to start. That's fine, but not that and the other that you just mentioned with the locking content
progression, and content too.
You just turn the game into a $200, $300, $400 game.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but the system itself costs $400.
Yeah,
why?
Exactly.
How do I rationalize the fact that we as humans constantly use the variety is a spice of life terminology, and you want me to be so ingrained in just your game that I have to keep paying, though, to stay
paying just to play? And it's not like a subscription service.
No, it's not like I get access. Let's say I paid for, let's say we're talking about this and we're content's locked behind something. Maybe I'd be locked from a competitive atmosphere for the game, for a specific server.
Yeah.
Right. Where those who want to pay and they highly invest in their characters, the looks and everything. Obviously, they play this game pretty much every single day, if not, 6 days a week at the minimum.
Yeah.
And so they go to these particular servers and they compete against each other in that realm. And you have to pay to access that, even from a monthly standpoint. That would make sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But the base game, you're telling me I can't start from beginning to end and get the full story after I paid my $80, 70, 60, whatever. Bro.
Yeah, it's like
welcome to the land of retro.
Exactly.
I ain't touching that then. Screw you.
Oh, I've got a cart, everything. You can't put DLC on this cart. Sorry. Like, you get the whole game.
I've got phones that stop working, and I take amazingly good care because they intentionally plan the programs to start breaking down over time.
Planned obsolescence. Yes.
It's, come on. Like, dude, no wonder why people don't understand the fair pricing of quality versus, the cheapest available rate, because they're going to screw you out of it anyways, even though you take good care of yourself.
Yeah. It's like, God, I ran into that literally because with my mom and her phone, because she's got like an iPhone, I think 6 or 7, right?
Okay, so yeah, I had the 6 for a while.
Yeah,
yes.
quite an older model. And she was running out of space for pictures on her phone. And I was like, that's weird, because like it's got like 10 gigs in there. That's a big chunk of space. Like for pictures, it should be fine. And then we went and we looked at it, and the operating system takes up almost half of her space now.
It used to be like probably 20%.
20% of that to start. Wow. Yeah.
So they just keep on pumping.
They just keep
bigger
pumping
and bigger files.
and pumping it in. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what's so frustrating. Because like now for me, I eventually broke my phone because I was dancing, because I was all happy for Posty making a bunch of money one day from work. I was like, oh my God, yeah. And I had some short shorts on, and well, I paid the price for it. The phone popped out and broke. I was in the process of buying a new one anyways in the coming weeks, so it worked out. But the reason I had to buy a new one was only because I was already in the mindset of this thing is just slowing down so much and I have to use it.
Yeah.
Where I spend half my other time on work. If I'm not on my PC, it's on the mini PC.
It's on the little one, yeah.
Oh, so like these loot boxes, this forced obsolescence, is just so frustrating. That's why when they've been revealing, what was it, the new PlayStation, the new Xbox,
Yeah,
so what do you think about it, General? I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. Are they giving me a discount? No? Okay, I'm not
Yeah,
paying that kind of money.
a discount? No? Okay, then I really don't care. I have a PC that functions very well, so like...
I've got a PlayStation 3 over here, and they told me I had free internet for that thing.
Yeah.
Good old PlayStation Network. They've been destroying that thing every single time. Like, you can't even access half the stuff on there anymore.
No, yeah, they took that down.
We don't have a new update for this. Oh, really? You don't? Oh, because you didn't realize like that was a big investment to give everyone a free
Everyone free things on there? Oh, weird.
Gosh, come on. And I've done a bunch of different user studies for PlayStation products, headphones and things of that nature, to where I give my feedback. But I always make sure to add in a little 2 cents, like stop screwing us. That's the most important feedback you need.
Yeah.
They're probably like, you're a funny boy. No.
I refuse. This is our model, and this is how we're sticking to it.
Sega had a chance not to burn us. They screwed up. We're burning the whole world. Okay,
it's down to the ground.
Now I know. Gosh, dang.
But it's like that, and the like DLC stuff too. Like DLCs
are different now.
They're different now. Yeah.
They used to be like, some are still legit.
Some are super legit. Yeah. Like Monster Hunter World's DLC. It was like $40, which is a typical DLC, right?
Okay.
But it was like basically a whole new game added onto it.
That is cool. That is cool. See, now that's worth it.
Yeah, I think so as well. So
now I remember spending, I want to say it was like $15 for the Outlast DLC for the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Whisper or something.
Mm-hmm. Not so worth it, huh?
Not worth it. Like, now here's the thing. I'm not going to take away from the fact that there is enough content to warrant a fair price marking on the $15 at the time that I bought it for DLC price, right?
Yeah.
That was fair as far as that goes. But the content that it was to me, you had a really good game in Outlast, and then with that one, even Outlast 2 did an amazing job on its visual and auditory effects. Like Outlast 2 did a great job there. But when it came to the actual gameplay to story elements, after Outlast 1, the DLC and then Outlast 2, they weren't good.
Yeah.
And I'm not a horror game fan. So I feel like I have an interesting perspective to bring to the table where I'm like, this is a good game, because I really feel this, Outlast 1 is a good game. But now you give me the other portions, the DLC in number 2, and I'm like, no, this sucks. People love Resident Evil 7, right?
Yeah.
And as a Resident Evil game, I bet they love it.
Mm-hmm.
As a horror game, I think it was trash.
Yeah.
It wasn't a very good horror game. It's you got action, and you have different challenges within that action and FPS styles of things that you have to do.
Yeah,
that's good. But if I was to come at it from a horror game mentality, which that was number 7 was really pitched as like a horror game specific,
the horror part, yeah,
because it was going to be this whole family setting inside a house, and you're going to be dealing with that. Versus a lot of times you're in laboratories.
Yeah.
Or factories or things of that nature, or like maybe like a sewer system, and all that kind of stuff, right? All those settings made sense. This setting here, where I was like, okay, this is going to be this thing. Really, there was only like one of the cutscenes is probably the best part, when you're forced to be at that table with that creepy family.
Oh yeah, the dinner scene.
Yeah, the dinner. Thank you, the dinner scene. That was just so creepy. That was a good scene.
That is a very good scene, but that's one of the few.
I'm sorry, I didn't pay $60 to watch a really cool 5-minute scene. What?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to pay for the Gold Unlimited pass for $75? What? No, you don't get extra 15. Get out of here. What do you want extra 15 for? Put gold lettering on all my stuff? That's ridiculous.
It's gold leaf everywhere.
Exactly. Please pay the extra money for the gold leaf.
For the gold leafing.
People will know.
A long time to animate.
people will know how serious you are about your Resident Evil gameplay with the gold leaf. Come on, killing me here.
But yeah, like DLC
now-
needs to add to the previous game that you have, or expand on the story that you have.
Thank you. Expand on the story. So, for example, like the Whistleblower, that's what it was called, Whistleblower. Haha, finally came through.
Oh, there we go.
Was that it added to the story of giving you a basis of how did this information get to your guy, right? Your original character that you play in the first one before the DLC comes out.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, cool. But man, the story getting to that point was like, it was just ridiculous.
That's what I've heard a lot of.
Ridiculous is the best way to put it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Just
and I'm a fan of a lot of ridiculous characters in different shows, be it from movies, TV shows, anime, whatever. Hisoga comes to mind as a very, very ridiculous character in Hunter x Hunter.
Yes.
But I am very intrigued by how ridiculous that character is compared to the storyline in Whistleblower. No.
Yeah.
I just felt like I was getting slapped in the face with a bunch of dicks.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. Not gonna lie.
That's and if you're into that, that's fine, but
no, totally that's fine. But you don't
that's
normally
not something
you don't play a horror game to be slapped in the face with a bunch of hot dogs. I'm just saying, man, like that's not normally why you're buying the game. If you want that content, you go to where you appropriately purchase that content at. Like,
yeah, that's what I heard a lot about with Outlast. At least the second one was that it was cheap scary, and it was way too over the top with its story, trying to be scary.
Correct. I am very appreciative of ambiance.
Yes.
Right. Why do you think I'm such a big time RPG retro fan?
Mm-hmm.
The mood that is set with the score. Then, if you have the appropriate background setting to go with it, I'm drawn in. Now, hopefully, you have usable controls, right? Which, some games don't. It's usually more of your hardcore action games that have poor controls. Most RPGs, you don't have to worry about poor controls.
Super simple, basically point and click.
If you have poor controls in RPG, you did not even try. You didn't try.
So hard.
Like, I don't know what you were doing. These are pretty simple inputs. Left, right, up, down, start. I mean, come on. What are you doing?
Everything moves on a grid for the most part.
Right? Yeah, right? But, we're crazy. That those kinds of things, that's what sets it for me versus all this other forced stuff, just like these loot boxes being forced down our throat.
Mm-hmm.
So now, have you had any, before we decide to go on to another topic, have you had any good experiences with loot boxes?
I was going to say, there was one in the newer game that came out. I actually have to look this up because I thought about it and I couldn't remember the name of the game.
Don't worry, you saw me. I was struggling there I was like, wait, hold on. I know there's a DLC name for this. Yeah, there we go. And I'm so big on not looking things up unless I absolutely have to.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I can remember. I can do this.
It was kind of, gosh, dang it. Now I've got to go. Come on, Steam.
Now he needs
Show me
the money.
Crucible.
Okay,
That's the name of the game. Crucible.
Now, was that an FPS?
That was no, it was kind of like a MOBA shooter. It's free to play and whatnot. It was in alpha when I played it. You
played so many alpha games. I always start to forget. They start to mesh together.
They do. They really, really do. People really trying to stand out nowadays.
Yeah.
But in Crucible, they gave you the first battle pass for free, right?
Okay.
Because it was alpha and whatnot. And if you were to complete that battle pass by playing the game, which it went pretty fast if you did like the dailies and stuff like that, how they all have for like extra points.
Okay.
But if you finish that, you would get enough of the free coin or whatever by unlocking different tiers to purchase the next battle pass for the next season.
Oh, so you could earn it.
Yeah.
By staying dedicated and in their world of gaming.
Yes. And I thought that was a very, very, very cool idea.
I'm glad that they quote unquote borrowed some aspect of that idea from Blizzard in regards to WoW, how you can pretty much pay for your monthly subscription if you have enough gold. Now, mathematically, if you go and look at it, you roughly have to, I think it was, you had to roughly spend 6 hours a day, unless people are giving you gold. You have to roughly spend 6 hours a day, 23 days of the month to get your gold and your membership paid for.
Yeah.
So, again, that's feasible for those who play that kind of game. Like that's not bad. And guess what though? They're gonna stay in it more. They're gonna want to buy these other lore things. You know, maybe they want to buy these cool action figures that are part of the book. Because why? They're so immersed in the universe, and that to me is how you do good branding.
Agreed.
You keep them in the universe. You don't force them to pay to stay in the universe.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. So with
now
that,
let's move on to your topic.
Embracing oneself. Well, the universe, obviously. There you go. Yes. It's summed up. Good episode. All right. Well, embracing one's self. This is something I have been coming more into my own again. And I say again because there are numerous different phases of not just this process, but really you finding out who you are as an individual.
Correct.
Versus what everyone else likes to tell you who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure you can speak for how many, at least 2 fistfuls of people who've at least tried to tell you who you are.
Oh yeah, at least.
I've been there too, right? I mean, I'm a tall individual. I'm a tall white male, right? That happens to be into sports to at least some degree, physically fit, as one might say. And so obviously I need to adhere to X, Y, and Z. Oh, I wear a red hat. So obviously I must adhere to this. No.
Yeah.
I do what I do because I like to. I'm a very loud. I'm very energetic. I'm very in your face a lot of the time. Now, just because I'm not like that, because there'll be times you and I are hanging out, and it's just chill.
We're just chilling. Yeah.
Right. But like, that's, that might be after a long, hard day. Maybe you and I just want to just kick back and shoot the breeze. But at some point, I get excited again because I'm loud. I'm extra. I mean, I even had to make sure to upgrade my glasses. First off, I needed it anyways. Yeah. But I'm like, you know what? Like, let's make sure this, and that's me. Now, before I continue to ramble about me, because I love doing that, let's talk about you though, Flip, because you've gone through something similar too, but it's probably been about a year from when that full transition of getting back to being you.
Back to being me, yes.
And I know it's gotten better and more involved since then, and it continues to evolve appropriately.
Yeah.
But how do you associate that? What is embracing one's self to you?
Being okay with who you are.
Okay.
And not letting other people tell you who you are.
Now, what about your parents? Why don't they tell you who you are?
Fuck them.
Okay, there we go. Thank you, folks. Write that down. I know you have your pen and paper. Oh no, you're on your cell phone. Okay, pull out the notepad program. Type that. Hey, parents, fuck off.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
My father. I love my father. Right.
Yeah.
So obviously, I don't hate him. But what you just said in regards to who you are, not even your parents get to tell you who to be.
Absolutely not. No.
Keep going.
And I was very lucky in that, because I know this isn't a situation for a lot of people, but my parents have always embraced who I am, no matter who I was.
I was going to say, I mean, they've been I have yet to meet them in person. Can't wait for that day. But even not meeting them in person, I felt a very, very good for you vibe.
Yes.
They seem very about you going after your thing. Similar to my father, he knows that. Could he charge me to stay here? California is a very expensive place. Yeah, he could, right? But at the end of the day, he knows that he wants me to go after what I want to do for me to be the best me, because he grew up dealing with abuse himself.
Yeah.
Right, where he had to do what his father wanted him to do.
Yeah.
Run the family company. Fuck you, Dad.
Yeah, I don't want to do my own thing.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, continue on. You brought up some great points already.
No, yeah. So like that was really helpful. Like when I first got into college, I knew who I was, but I've been so stifled by the high school dynamic and everything like that. that
point.
it was so
Yes.
in. And then when I got to college, I just said, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm coming out, baby. And we're going hot.
Oh man, I see those hands at your hips and those
Yeah.
holsters are coming out. Pow,
Yeah,
pow, pow,
exactly. So I
Beautiful.
did that for a while. And then I had a real good sense of who I was at a very early age, too.
Okay, yeah,
And
which
that
is
was
wonderful.
Yeah, it was nice. But then, I lost myself along the way.
Okay,
It
happens.
Yeah, it does. It had somebody who had to fit me into a box of what they thought I should be.
And now this is someone you trusted.
Somebody
right?
I absolutely trusted, yes.
And when we say trusted, we're talking about where when you pinky swear, that pinky is tied to the other pinky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this matters, folks, because usually it is somebody that you trust the most. So obviously parents, that's why we brought them up, because normally we give them a lot, like they give us a lot of leeway. We give them a lot of leeway in a lot of different things, right? So now this is an individual that you cared for. You assume that they cared for you. Maybe they did for at least a day.
Yeah,
that was
a little
nice of
bit.
them.
Maybe
right?
at first.
At first, yeah. And then they're like, hold on a second, I need you to fit inside this box. So why were they trying to force you into this box? Or what happened because of that?
That's a great point. I think
why do they need to have you in a box? You are a wonderful human being, very fun to engage with, highly skilled in numerous different things, not just speedrunning, right? You have a flair for the art. Oh, I love to blow up your ego. This is fun.
Yeah.
I just start fluttering,
Huge. My headphones are starting to fall
away.
off.
I'm like, what? Flip, come back here!
Okay, I'm so far.
I'm so far away. I'm floating. But why would they do that?
Only they know truly why they do that. But it mostly stems from what, at least psychologically speaking, from what they were raised as and what they were given examples as growing up. And this particular person just had a lot of people in their ear,
Yep. Yes, that's a good point.
Telling them he's supposed to be like this, he's supposed to be like that, he's supposed to have a traditional job, he's supposed to make money.
A traditional job, get out of here.
He's supposed to be living on his own.
Oh God. Man, it's so funny. Those are like, how there's anime tropes.
Yes,
that's like real life tropes.
That's real life
there.
tropes.
It's like, no, it doesn't matter. Like, you don't have to be this or that to be the next.
You're supposed to be married
hero.
by this age. You're supposed to have a house by this age. You're supposed to have your first kid at this age.
Oh my gosh, I'm supposed to cure cancer like 20 years ago. Fuck off. Yes, no, I totally, and I wish I did, folks. Let me tell you. But like, yeah, dude, what is up with that? Like, why do? And these are people you trust. You've had conversations with. You feel like you connected on a level that you both understand each other, and yet they still have so many voices in their ears telling them all those things that you just brought up.
Yeah, and it's just like there's also like lack of communication and manipulation and things like that. That took a long time to get over. That took me probably, because you were there for a big brunt of it.
Yeah,
it took me probably 2, almost 3 full years to fully get over.
I was gonna say 2 years before it felt like now you are going downhill and not uphill anymore.
Yeah.
And then, but it was kind of like, wait, do I start going downhill yet? So you're kind of like, you were kind of slow stomping down the hill that third year, right?
Yeah.
But once that third year hit, guess what? You got to the halfway point on the hill. You're like, this isn't so bad.
Yeah.
And then you just let it go and you started rolling downhill. Rightfully so. It's a speedrun strat.
Exactly. You got to use the momentum.
Now you've been in a good family situation, right? You have the people would consider you quote unquote, privileged, which can be fair based off of the entire.
No, it's definitely the
world's climate, right? Now, where we lived, we know compared to the other people that we lived that we would not be privileged compared to those individuals, right? Yeah. Because there's tiers of this privilege.
Correct.
Right? That's the hard part for a lot of people to realize. There's many tiers to it, but we still, even me, in a privileged situation.
Correct.
Right? So even though we're in these privileged situations and we have the backing of a good family set, even though my mom was, she was an alcoholic and everything like that. So there was a dynamic there that was a difficult for my dad's side, but still my dad was able to rise to the occasion and give us a very good family life nonetheless.
Yes.
Yet yet you still had multiple years that you had to go back to finding yourself.
Yeah.
For me, I know with things that we've dealt with growing our businesses together, that in this entertainment industry, people can be bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
They can be evil sons of bitches. And for nothing else than their own ego.
Their own ego. Like, it doesn't even come down to them, like, trying to get something out of us or anything like that.
No!
It's like they just, their own ego literally gets in their way.
Correct. That gets in their way because, like, realistically, whenever you and I've dealt with anybody that, hey, we disagree with them now, that's just that they want to do is what they want to do. You know what we do? We just let them go.
Yeah.
Right? Let it, fly free.
Yeah, let it ride.
I would have liked that our conversations and interactions up to that point had more value, more substance to it. But you know what? That's going to happen. You learn people. You learn that you're not going to gel. You move on. So why do other individuals felt that they needed to attack us? Not just what our brand might be, right? So I'm going to use myself as an example for this now, but then us as individuals, just like you dealing with it as an individual from someone that you super trusted, right? That why are they doing this? Because now what happened, look how much longer it took me to get back to being me.
Yeah, that's true.
That was years. And it's hard for people to see that because it's like, oh, well, General's always so talkative. General's always up in the spotlight doing his thing.
Always there. He's always so positive.
And I am, because that's what I truly believe. But that doesn't mean that I'm not still dealing with bullshit and nonsense and being lost in my own thought. I'm a type A personality, so I'm an overthinker, first off.
Correct, yes.
I think to the umpteenth degree, and that's why a lot of times, I will intentionally, like, just I'll force myself to not think about something just to forget about it. Why? Because I know I'll overanalyze it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, you know what? We're not even dealing with that today. I'm closing Discord and I'm not even looking at this anymore,
that's
like, nope, we're done. Because I know how I am. I'm like, nope, I'm going to try to understand every single one of these. Look what they said. Why did they intentionally misspell that word? I know they're good at spelling. I know they're so good at spelling.
Why'd they put a comma there?
Oh my, a semicolon? Okay, continue your sentence. It's obviously not done, or you would have put a period. What? You know what I mean? Like that type of stuff where it's like, oh, okay, General, slow down.
Yeah.
And so, again, embracing myself and knowing these things about myself and being fully honest with myself. Hopefully, any of you out there listening are doing the same thing. You're being fully honest with yourself, that you understand the difference between self-love and being selfish.
Yes. 100%.
Because a lot of people get that misconstrued.
Oh, they absolutely do.
There is a healthy form of selfishness.
Yes.
And there is a very unhealthy form of selfishness. So when we talk about selfishness for ourselves, we obviously know that we're talking about it in a healthy manner.
Correct. Most
individuals, they hear the word selfish.
It's automatic trigger word. It's bad.
The defense mechanisms come in and they just start going, and it's like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So I think it's very important for individuals to realize that things like kindness. Yes. Kindness is a strength.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? How many people try to pin that on you or I as a weakness?
No. People take advantage of that all the goddamn time.
All the time. And I am now used to it. So I have my little feelers and pattern recognitions, because a lot of the times, which you would think that it wouldn't be, but the people who are truly about engaging and conversating, they don't do certain specific behavioral patterns.
Yes.
There's just certain behavioral patterns they don't do because they're being genuine.
Yeah.
Ingenuous people will do things in a very specific manner because it's been taught or learned, one or the other, as a very strong manipulative tactic.
Yeah.
To get them what they want because they are being selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
again, it's almost folks, like their brain isn't figuring it out.
I'm no mental health expert. I have a perspective. You have a perspective. You've dealt with mental health things along the way in your journey.
Yeah.
So these are perspective-based things that, again, I'm no genius. It's just paying attention to the details.
Yeah.
just like your loot boxes from
Yeah.
earlier, right? Some are worth it, but most
are
aren't.
not. Yeah.
Right. And so, like, and I think about that. It's now, though, there was a bunch of stuff going on. Now that you are embracing yourself, what have you seen because of that?
Just an overall better mental health standing. I can handle a lot more things now that I couldn't before.
And how many people also see this and resonate towards that?
Oh, a lot more people now.
I mean, I can just think about you've always had a community, right?
Yes.
I mean, at least from when I knew you. I know you had to build it up beforehand before I got to know you for, I don't know, 5 months, 8 months.
5,
I can't remember
6
how long
months. I think it was 6 or 7 months, right when I was done with the 12 hours. Yeah.
That's right. Right when you finally started finishing up your 5 or 6 days a week at 12 hours streams per day. That, then I had gotten to me. What's funny is if you look at that community then, how many of those people are still around today?
Not as many as I would like, but a good amount.
You know what? But again, let's go with the not as many as you would like. So
Yeah.
let's think about that aspect again, because similar for me too, right?
Yeah.
Let's be real. Similar for me as well. Now, people will say, well, certain viewers only like, smaller streamers, and that's true. I had one viewer specifically express, hey, I love your stream, but if there's a point you get too big, you probably won't hear from me anymore. And I'm
right.
like,
Yeah.
I think you were even there.
Yeah, I was.
Just that chat, and I was just like, thank you, I guess. Like that's an odd way of putting it. Like, you don't want my success. Okay, right on. But point being is that you start to learn about yourself better, especially when you start expressing it in this medium, right? Live streaming is way different than a performance piece.
Correct.
Posty can speak for that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He knows he's done so many live performances in front of tons of people in theaters, to where this, though, it's different. For him, it wasn't overwhelming because obviously he's used to and you don't get to see the people. Yeah, you see some people say some stuff, but realistically, if you don't even look at that, you don't know shit. You just look at the camera and you can talk for days. That where I was going with the idea of where you started then to where you are now, and where the community has grown to, is that they literally want you for you. It felt like a lot of the individuals who originally were a part of your community that are no longer, or if they stopped it, and then
they were there for that rapid success.
They saw success. They saw you playing games that they liked, but they didn't actually enjoy you for you. They liked what you provided. Correct. Which is okay to an extent, but that's not your community, and that's not what your mental health can be based on.
Yeah.
I always think of that episode of Family Guy where they're making fun of Liz Taylor or whatever, and it's all like, just another one, baby, just another one, and she's all popping the blue M&Ms in her mouth or something like that, because she needed that so she could go on stage or whatever, right? And that's what I picture there, where it's like, she's doing it because people love it, but she herself could not even deal with going out there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, those types of things matter. So, like, if you put yourself in that situation, you got to know, why are you doing it? So why would I put myself in an unfriendly situation? I have to know why I'm doing it. Otherwise, there's a ton of backlash and fallout that's going to come for that. That's going to be very hard on my mental health. That's going to make it hard for me, especially someone who's super regimented. Yeah. To want to get back into my routine, which then makes me feel more weird if I'm not in my routine.
That's very true. Because we both wanted to tangent off of that. We both wanted to, when we first met, we wanted to make communities that wanted to be there for us, rather than the game we were playing or the game we were speedrunning or anything like that. We wanted people there for us, and they keep coming back for us because, sure, it's a lot slow moving than what people hope it to be, but it's a lot more stronger foundation of an actual community.
Well, and if you notice, I don't know about you, but I think this is fair. At least for me, I can say it. So I'll say about from my perspective. Now the needle is actually moving.
Yes, correct.
Right. So no, if you go back and look, you can see large, massive spikes that I've had at different points in time or whatever for different things. Same to you, right?
Yeah.
We can easily attribute a large, massive spike when you were rocking Ocarina of Time 3 times a week.
Yep.
Right? We've seen that. But what were they there for? They weren't there for you.
There were some. Me. Yeah.
There were some. Shout out to the homies.
Yeah. Seriously, shout out to you guys.
You know, but like a lot of those people were there to see, you're the new runner, you're doing extremely well already off the bat. That's one thing you do.
Yeah.
Right. Once you start running the game, you are usually a past the median marker as soon as you've gone live.
Yeah.
The first time on stream. Right. Which, whoa, who's this guy?
Who's...
He's got a beard. He ain't that weird. I like this, you know. And then, but that's where the you part stops, and they're just there for the game.
Yeah.
So we have to always understand, why do we do X amount of X games versus what do we do as a building our brand, as embracing ourselves? How do we do that actually correlates into something that's not just successful from a business, but is also fun and fuels our passion? Because at the end of the day, I've turned down jobs since I've been full-time streaming. I've turned down $90 to $100K jobs. Okay. You know, where it's like, I could be making better money than I currently am at this juncture in life, but doing what? I'm like, does this have anything? Because like usually are offered by people that you personally know, right? Companies aren't just searching out for me. No. So usually by, you know, friends or friends of friends. Hey, so I know you're really good at this. I'm like, does this have anything to do with this, or can I make any correlation with my current business so I can kind of like blend the two a little bit? Oh no, this is definitely not anything like that. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
The numbers got me thinking, and that was it, right?
Yeah.
Because there was nothing else that mattered about that job, because it had nothing to do with anything of this industry. So it's like, oh, no, it doesn't really. They don't go hand in hand. They're going to feel so separate that I'm going to have a very strong dislike for this job, probably much more rapidly than I want to admit.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to take a job, have you hate me, and then 3 months later you need to fire me because, like, dude, this guy doesn't want to be here.
Yeah.
No, I don't. No, has nothing to do with video games. Has nothing to do with fitness. Has nothing to do with entertainment. Has nothing to do about you guys listening to me yell about myself and how I think I look pretty in these glasses. Like, come on.
Yeah.
The kind of job I need. Pay me for that.
Yeah. That's what I want to.
Right? So I've been really happy with how I've been able to take an elevation of myself, because it feels like from just the data alone, things around me are elevating too.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen the work that you've put in become even more efficient. You already worked hard and you worked long, right?
Yeah. Now it's the efficiency of that work that is starting to pay off. I get a lot more done a week.
Same work.
Yeah, it's the same work. I get a lot more done though in a week than I did 6 months ago.
Thank you. Oh man, I'm glad you already took my thought out of my mouth. That was perfect. That was so good, because that's I want to point out. You always work hard. You work every day of the week, but now you work like 5.5 days, same amount of work getting done.
Same amount of work getting done. And my mental health is so much better because of it.
And you sound better when I have conversations with you. You know, half the time, the first 30 minutes was like, you sons of bitches, fat. I was like, gosh, flip, just get it out.
I'd be so angry and just so exhausted and so tired that I'm just gonna yell at my microphone for half an hour.
I'd have only one ear on, one ear off. Yeah. All right, he's letting me down. You know, I can't let it rattle around on my brain for too long. But you know, it made sense. Yeah. Right. And here too, for me, same idea. It's, you know, I had to find out, how can I create this content and put it out so I could still be me, which me is being regimented by taking care of my health. I mean, sticking to creating my food every single day. When I say creating, you know, it's cooking. I don't actually I'm not putting a 3D printer out, you know, I'd be sick. Right. But, you know, making my food, cooking it every day, going that way, stretching not just once, but twice a day. Also adding in a facial routine to take care of my face, because I'm getting beat down by lights all the time because the way I have my studio set. staring at a screen, be it the phone, be it the PC, be it the retro monitor over here.
Yeah.
Staring. That's beating up my face.
Mhm.
And so all these different things that are making me feel better because I've got time for that, because I realize, you know what? I'm at a point now, I need to start to pay others to do certain types of work. So like Dan Carnate, for example.
Yeah.
We love that guy. That guy made a beautiful jam for us.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Just saying. Dan Carnate, I know you're listening, but that all those things mattered in getting back to an efficiency state, just like yourself.
Yeah.
Same amount of work getting done, but I actually had like what was it? I think you had, honestly, I feel like we both had Wednesday. We were like, I feel like I didn't get shit done today.
Yeah. And I felt great about it.
And realistically, I still got things done. I worked out.
No, yeah,
I still got stuff done, but like I'm so used to doing so much all the time, where like me doing 5 things in one day felt like I did nothing.
Yeah.
And it felt good.
But
it felt great.
It felt so good.
You know what I mean? It felt so good. So hopefully for anyone out there listening, embrace yourself. And as long as you are real, and I don't care if you're real with me, you're real with Flib, be real to yourself. By doing so, you will know what is being selfish versus what is being selfless. And it's really not that hard of a distinction unless you're lying to yourself or you keep on listening to all those other people talking to you.
Yeah, all the people in your ear.
You know what, though? Thanks for having us in your ears, folks.
Thank you so much, everybody. This has
Dreamers.
been Flamly. It's been another great episode. And we'll see you all next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.